everybody, and welcome to the March 27th Sacred Commentary meeting. We do have a lot of items to get through today because, well, the Kingdom had a lot of stuff to register. So, in this case, we'll just get started after some introductions. We'll start with Dorcas.
Hi, I'm Dorcas Whitecap. I am currently IAS, which is sort of a deputy because I'm learning the ropes. Eventually, IAS Herald office is going to transition to become the internal submissions office. So I'm learning Oscar and taking that on. Next.
Brigida.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brigida von München. I am Purple Falcon Herald. I am Saker Emerita. I'm White Hawk Herald Emerita, and archivist for the Kingdom of Palantir.
Heraldic archivist.
Yes. Sorry.
Yes. Zanita, are you ready?
Yes. I am Zanita Baseggio. I am currently Red Hawk Herald, which means I make external commentary for other kingdoms. And I am also my local herald here in Axter.
Dawi.
I'm Davi. I am the current White Hawk Herald for their Majesties. I'm the Bat Lure Herald, which means I'm in charge of tournament heraldry. And I am the former baronial herald of Three Rivers.
And I realized I forgot to introduce myself. I am Alexandra Vasquez de Granada, known as Chandra. I am Saker Submissions Herald for the Kingdom of Palantir for approximately 1 more month and 3 days, not that I'm counting.
I remember that stage.
Okay, so first we're going to discuss the 228 letter, internal letter, and then we'll discuss the other one. So we'll start with Asa a Nordlunda. New name.
We sort of guessed at how Northerlanda would be constructed. So we've got Northerland found in place names in Landamabach, which was found for us on the Wayback Machine. But as far as turning that into a locative, we stuck the A on because we thought that's how it worked. And I'm looking forward to more knowledgeable heralds saying, yes, that's the right way to do it, or no, it's not, and here's the right way.
I'm sure Frida will get on that when it goes up the next ladder.
Coolio.
Yeah, the given name is good. But yeah, I think we're going to need, good with a request for help.
And there are no conflicts that I can find with the spelling.
No, you've said everything I would say.
Mm-hmm.
No input.
Okay, so sending it up with a request for help from the, Laurel commentators. Number 2, Bjarki Vikarsson.
Sorry, I had to deal with the dog there. Bjarki Vikarsson.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, I don't see any way that if it's from the GB, then yeah, both items are from the GB and they're in standard form.
Mm.
Yep, that looks good to me.
Oh, number 3, Daniel of Lanano. And yes, there is a typo, and I fixed it.
Lanando.
Lanando. Lanano.
Lanano.
Lanando.
Banana puppy.
Sorry. Yes. All right. So anyway, you'll fix the typo.
I'll fix the typo.
Once again, I think these documents are courtesy of Mistress Eleanor Dason. She's just a machine when it comes to doing research online.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any conflicts I could bring up in reading through the documentation. It seems fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled the most relevant items that I could for those. So, okay, 4, Demetrius Sigmund. Ziggy.
Both items came from the same article, and it's a no photocopy because it's heraldry.sca.org. So,
And same year.
yeah.
That looks perfect. My computer just froze. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Weird. Okay.
Your image froze, so it might bounce you here soon. Just FYI.
So if my search form is to be believed, we have never registered Demethor before.
Cool.
But then again, yep, nothing close, which is weird.
Okay.
Okay, number 5. Diana Tantini and her badge. There has been some discussion on that this is not the period form of the apple, but this is a step from period practice that I believe to be the only one, so shouldn't bar it from being sent up.
I would say go ahead and send it up. Wreath, the new wreath might say that it needs to be registered with a redraw, but I would say above our pay grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would send it up.
So
And-
I'll note it that we do note that there is a single step from period practice. Okay, number 6, Dorcas Whitecap, resubmission of a badge, insta bounce, moving on.
Yeah, who's she?
Sorry, standard operating procedure for people in chat. I think it fixes the issues it had. It is definitely attached in multiple places.
Yep.
And I was torn whether I wanted to make a red annulette or a gold one, but there's already something out there with a gold annulette, so red it shall be.
I like the red.
I think I do too.
Okay. So, sending up with no other commentary. Number 7, I am not going to attempt a Gaelic.
It's Evelyn.
Yeah.
Or Evelyn.
Yeah.
So,
Evelyn O'Brien, effectively.
Burn, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Baron.
It looks like Burn. It's not Brian. Not that I, could language, but
Yeah, she said she wants language and culture, but didn't give us any, so.
I think we can guess.
I think we can guess, but.
Actually, what I think it probably means is she's got this notion of what Irish Gaelic is and whether she's right about that or not. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't.
Yeah, it is a lot more common than you think when people say, yes, I want the language and I want the culture, but they never tell you what.
Yeah.
So
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's extremely common.
So, like I said, I just put none given, and that's an indication that, yes, they checked the box, but they didn't tell me what they wanted.
Okay.
I mean, if Wayne says the docs check out, I'm sure they do.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with the name. I agree with Sylvig that, we could do, something a little more English or more Irish, but, this is what the client wants. So.
Yep.
And it came from an Irish document, so.
Right. It's just anglicized, which.
Yeah. She didn't check the box that she wants authentication or not
Right.
authentication.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Right.
Authentic. So we should be able to just let it pass.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to the device.
Yeah, nobody found any conflicts with the device.
Which I'm kind of amazed because this is popular items in a popular style. Colors for the win.
Those tertiaries and the colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Is this purple? Is this just, gosh, the marker was about to run out? Do we think that she used the right markers?
Purples scan badly.
Oh, I was on the next one. Whoops.
I've had at least 2 devices returned for a really crappy scan of purple.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a tendency to give the benefit of the doubt here, but
There is a known issue with the color corrector between blue and purple. And generally, as long as purple shows up in the color corrector, they're good with it.
Okay.
Plus, there's a definite difference there between the purple and the blue.
Yeah.
If they were colored if they looked kind of the same, then I would consider it being an issue. But it looks purple to me.
It's a gray purple, but it's a purple. Okay, 8, device. I really like this. This is cool.
I'm so glad. She happened to be looking at jewelry and found something vaguely like this in some kind of Anglo-Saxon discovered hoard or something. Yeah.
Neat idea for the heraldry.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's granulated.
And very distinctive. Okay, so send it up.
Yep.
Yep.
9, name. Basmunder Björnsson.
And we do note the typo in the Oscar entry, so it should be no E at the end of Fastmunder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't see any reason to be concerned about it based on what's in Oscar.
I think it looks good.
Glad to hear it. We had a very busy day at Winter War Maneuvers. That's where a lot of these came from.
Excellent.
Which you wouldn't expect, but I'm okay with that.
You know, I think I'm finding that if books on a table show up, people will come and, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, number 10, Giselle de la Fontaine.
Both names seem to check out.
I am a little bit sad she didn't use a fountain in her device, though. But
I-
we're not on device. We're on name. Sorry.
I really wish more people would cant.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, well,
right.
any commentary on the name?
not on the name.
Okay. Okay, device.
This is kind of watery.
Mm-hmm.
I did tell her what a fountain was, and
Awesome. Okay.
she kind of liked it, but she liked the bend wavy.
As long as she knew that the fountain was an option, because I find a lot of people don't have any clue when we get to canting stuff. They're like, oh, I could do that.
She's quite possibly going to register a badge with a fountain.
That'd
Cool.
be cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, I don't want to hold anything against her. It's just a general, it would be great if more people canted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although she's moving, she's happy that she got this submitted in Callantyr because she's moving to South
East.
Carolina.
Mm.
Atlantia.
Virginia. Yeah. Atlanta.
Somewhere. Oh, yeah, Virginia. You're right.
Okay, number 11, Ivar in Foldvc.
I love this device so much.
I like the redesign.
Oh, this is the one you and I discussed at a previous.
Clothiers.
Yeah. I like this design a lot.
Yep.
It's much smoother or cleaner than the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
And the take on his parents' arms and making them his own is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I quite agree. You can
Well,
see the connection, but
Yep.
And this redesign was based on he saw Miranda's. He saw his sister's when it came back and said, "Oh, that's simple and elegant. I want." Okay.
Yeah, it's cool that the family did a very, very period thing and based the arms off of, but not. That you can tell they're all related, but
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Regarding his name was registered as just Ivar Fotvis.
I will, when I send it up, I'll use the actual registered name.
Excellent. I figured that was a thing.
I believe when I heralded court at Gulf, we called him up as Ivar Shorefoot, which he told me later is the translation of Footvis.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just use the
Lingua Anglica.
Thank you. That was on the tip of my tongue. All right, so number 12, Ivar Inrowdy. New name. Pretty standard, Gearbossy.
Good.
And if nobody found any conflicts, hooray.
Yeah, I think there are several in Routhies, but not Ivar.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, guys, my computer keeps booting me.
That's okay, as long as you can get back in.
Yep.
And if not, just ping somebody and let us know so we don't worry.
Right.
Hey, Davi, I've got an email I could send you to reset your Mac.
Go if you would do that, that'd be great.
Okay, I'll send it as an email after we're done.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, the device.
Charged flaunches. Oh, here's something. Are flaunches supposed to come from the top corners, or are they supposed to come from slightly in?
I don't know. What's Miss Holmes say?
I was just going to say, let me look it up. Because I cannot remember. Issuing from the corners of the chief.
Oh, well, okay then. So these are good flaunches.
This looks, yeah, almost identical to what Miss Holm has.
All right then.
Mm-hmm. And it's obviously a hand-drawn device, so people can bite me with inconsistency issues.
Ah, yes. Not only that, it was done at fighter practice.
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking that it is a step from period practice to charge them, but it is not that I see.
Okay,
Miss Holm normally has that listed, and it is not.
cool.
Right, and I can name devices that have charged flaunches. Ostfold comes to mind immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But once again, just a standard practice. Prior registration does not guarantee current registerability.
that's true.
Actually, they were sometimes charged in period, so never mind. I keep getting it. Must be a gore or a Tierce that I get confused.
I think it might be a Tierce.
Gores and Tierces you don't charge.
Okay, so any other commentary? Because no conflicts were found. So,
Nope.
all right, number 13, Kynan Brynjolfsson.
Brynjolfsson. So you remember doing this one at 12th night.
Yep.
And we all attested to his mundane legal name.
Mm-hmm.
Small typo. Canaan legal given name Canaan is a minor.
Is a minor. It's the tiniest things.
Yep.
And the only thing that we're talking about the name. Never mind.
Yep.
Hold off.
The patronymic is formed correctly.
That we've not used hospital records before, as far as I know, but I'm assuming they should be okay since he is a minor and birth certificates can be hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 9. I don't think he has a
6.
driver's license.
He's 6.
Yeah, no driver's license.
Okay, since no issues with the name, let's move on to the device. Yes, we need to feed the bow a cookie, but I think lots of things get lost in the color corrector, and it's obviously there in both of the other versions.
It still could be beefier even in the other versions.
I think that's artist note, though.
I've never seen this bordure pattern before. I like it.
It's a Spanish thing. It was my idea.
And Chandra, there's one going to be coming from Gulf that has that too.
Woohoo!
We had one that was from doing an Iberian Peninsula name, I think Portuguese,
Okay.
and did that. I got to color it, and it was like, oh, I know somebody who'd like to see this one.
Yeah, Borgias denticulata are kind of my, oh, you don't know what to do and you want something unusual? Here. If I didn't have my Bend and Gould, I would have had a Borgia denticulata. So I will send it up with an artist that we are recommending an artist note to feed the boa cookie.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree with Solveig's comment that the hammers, not just the orientation of the hammers, because they are fess-wise and that's specified.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they do need to be mentioned that the hammers are in fess as well as fess-wise.
I think the fact that they are in chief, it's in chief to Smith's hammers fess-wise. That's
Right.
the way I would imagine it.
I suppose you could stack the hammers one on top of each other and still have them fess-wise, so they could be arranged in pale, even though they are fess-wise themselves.
They could be, but that would be a weirdness.
If Laurel wants to change it, they can change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, normally, like if we had 3 sons in chief, it would be in chief 3 sons, and we would never put in fess-wise.
Oh, you're right.
And I think it's more of it's a forced position.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll buy that.
And they could certainly change it, but I don't think they would.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so number 14, Margaret Orange. Speaking of canting.
I know. I was thinking that too.
Yeah. But I don't like the color on color issue.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, sorry.
So we'll start with the name. Since it's exactly found in Family Search, we literally just need the one document. The one piece. We don't.
Okay.
Which is awesome. So yeah, I mean, it's a period name, the proof.
I do have to agree with Gawain. I'm not sure about. I mean, Marguerite is different enough from Margaret. Margit.
Yeah, it's Margaret.
Yes, Margaret.
It's Margette.
Yes.
What?
I mean, we found everything in Family Search from Margaret to Magrat.
Mm-hmm.
Margaret.
Yeah, Magrat garlic. And when she saw Margit, she said, oh, can I have that?
So we've dropped a syllable.
And, we registered Tudors and Da Vinci's and all of that. So that should not be a problem then.
We have registered identical. She is not. Margaret Orange is not important enough to protect. So.
I would agree.
So I will send that up.
Yep.
Since, as you can see from the long bits of commentary, we are going to have to bounce the device for color on color. Hopefully she throws those oranges on either yellow or white.
So here's what I got emails from her, and every email I get from her says, oh, I'll get back to you before the end of the week or before the end of the weekend. And then I ping her again and she's like, oh, well, somebody died and I'm in Ohio and so it's like,
well, that's
she's having an attack of life right now.
Yep, we can send them up separately. There is absolutely no issue with that.
So I offered her the option of putting them on a plate or putting them on an amulet.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked her whether she would like to put stem and leaves.
Okay, well, good to know that you are definitely on that.
I'm on that.
So, return for color on color. 15, name change from a holding name.
Sorry, guys, I had a computer glitch.
No worries. Did you have any other commentary on Margette other than bouncing her device for color on color?
Nope.
Okay. Osfife
Osvifer Asplund fra Øresundi.
Thank you.
That.
He has gone by the nickname Oyster
Mm-hmm.
for 25 years at least.
Yep, and we don't register personae, so
Yep.
good that we could get it close enough.
Yep.
Regarding Gawain's, I entered everything where I'm supposed to enter, and this is what it did. So that's an Oscar thing, not me.
Huh. Okay. Because I have seen the
I will double check when I send it up to external.
and I'll pay very close attention to how that works.
Yeah.
That's a thing for me to be sure and
Mhm.
learn.
And as a note, you do have to, even with a holding name, you still have to check the release this name. Even if it's a change from a holding name, you'd think it automatically do that, but it doesn't.
Okay. I will keep that in mind.
Are there issues with Solvig's note about name construction?
No, because we've got the modern name allowance.
Yeah.
It just kind of gets a little squishy, and when she's very adamant about it being as period as possible, it just makes her twitch.
Okay, just verifying.
Mhm.
And I will point out that double bynames are perfectly allowed.
Yep.
Now, her point
Okay.
about Öresund actually being a body of water rather than a land or a city or a country or a that's a valid point. But you know, it was in the back of Nordisk Runons lexicon.
Well, her commentary about Forgotten Sea is actually based on the old item.
Right, so we ignore that. But
Yeah.
Öresund or Öresund is a strait which forms the Danish-Swedish border, separating Sjælland from Skåne. While locative bynames are available in Old Norse, I believe that the use of boundary bodies of water as human locatives needs to be demonstrated. I fear that she has a valid point. Yeah, I'm completely ignoring anything she says about Forgotten Sea. She getting a little carried away there. But the comment about Öresund being a strait rather than a city or a country or a, I don't know.
I don't have the NR handy. So, okay. Oh, she does actually list it there. Never mind.
Yes. I would still say send it up.
Yeah.
Worst case, we create a precedence. You know, we are Callantyr. We like those things.
Precedents are us.
Yep. Pushing those boundaries like the red-headed stepchild we are.
Speaking of boundaries,
Wait till we are live. Just FYI.
I was talking about the strait
Boundary
as a
waters.
boundary.
Yes. Okay.
It was a poorly timed.
You're roboting.
You are you're roboting, Giovanni. Okay, so moving on to 16, Solveig Meloraka. The name.
Again, polar fox and sun, but there's no polar fox or sun in this device.
All right, the ice and polar and those are things that are meaningful to her. So yes, her name, and she's not canting. No.
Nope. And that's fine.
And it looks like Greek Fire is saying she wanted Melraki initially, so I am good with changing that per Frida's advice.
Yes.
And then just follow up with Constantia that she did get in contact with the client.
I'll talk to her at fighter practice on Wednesday.
Okay, so you'll take point on that?
Yeah.
Thank you, and just have her shoot me an email.
Okay.
Just so we have it documented.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Sigroth Melraki, but it's a different enough that it's not a conflict.
Okay, then let's move to her device. Other than missing the perfect opportunities for cants.
Mm-hmm. I did not find any conflicts, and when I was conflict checking this, I ran across a couple other devices, and I constantly tried to take out that chief color. But you really do need to have that a chief or Freddy vert, although you do not need to capitalize vert.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I've copied the Blazin' Foo. Yeah, Oscar and I were having a very bitter disagreement that night.
Saker would never have arguments with Oscar. Come on.
And Saker Emerita is laughing her ass off.
Pretty much.
Hey, you're scaring me.
Tough noogies. You already took the job.
Again, this was one that was hand-drawn at fighter practice.
Yep.
I'm pretty good for that.
It looks like a lion.
Yep.
So, any other commentary on this letter before we move to the next?
Nope.
All right. So we're moving to the 311-27, which is Kalantiro Rama. And before anybody asks, no, we don't know what these awards are for, unless it happened to be announced at Gulf and just didn't get populated anywhere, Dobby.
Nope.
Okay.
Giovanni shaking his head
This is
no.
the first I've seen of it.
Okay.
I have guesses, though.
Because, yeah, it had been mentioned to us by Gold Falcon that they had thought about, he thought they might be announced at Gulf, but apparently not, so.
That's
I wouldn't be
terrible, Gold
surprised if it's
Falcon.
a tournament.
Sorry, not Gold Falcon. White Hawk doesn't know what they're for. Oh no.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's announced at Crown.
That would be the next, yeah. I kind of know the big picture, but not the little picture, but that's other.
Oh, look, we're blessed with two Dobbies.
I noticed that.
My computer has completely lost its mind, so if I drop again, I might just be out.
I'll just eject the duplicate, because I can do that. Okay, so let's move on to number 1, Order of the AO Feared.
This has never been. Wow.
Don't get me started. This actually comes from Gottfried's previous tenure.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he and I had a discussion on that.
Yeah, it was a very interesting retreat.
We need more documentation. As is, this is going to bounce.
Why do you think it is?
Because we have not actually documented the what's the construction pattern.
The construction pattern is grandfathered. So
but you have to indicate what it is. I would say the construction pattern is based off. Well, I could do it for the steel awards because we could go iron steel, metal plus feared. I'm thinking we have to go implement of war or weapon, and use Boga, and go off Boga.
What did we use when we registered the other one?
We didn't.
Oh crap!
Boga.
It's right below. It's number 2.
All of the the feared awards. Pardon. Well, okay. Since we are live, are a cluster mess. The original paperwork is an absolute cluster mess. The Ironfeard literally, as you can see in my documentation below on the Steel Awards, says was registered at some point. The Boga Award is only registered because it was a designator for the badge. They didn't send it up as a name. Yeah, we're kind of pulling this out of our collective butts.
All right. Well, let's get working on this one then.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say probably implement of war
Mm-hmm.
is going to be your best argument for the construction pattern. Have you reached out to some of our Saxon, more fluent Saxon people? I'm thinking like Merwin or His Excellency Three Rivers.
Hergstappa, yeah. Okay, so the thing is, Merwin, I think Merwin is probably the one that came up with...
Yeah, Marilyn was queen when this one went through.
Right, the Eos. Yeah, so linguistically, they make sense. But yeah, we need to go back to Cena and look at the patterns for...
Well, it's more because we're using the grandfather clause, documenting what our pattern is to be able to use it again.
I would say go grandfathered, parenthesis, implement of war.
Plus feared.
Plus feared.
Yep.
So a warhorse being an implement of war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's as close as we're going to get.
Yep.
I will do the same for Eohirth.
Mm-hmm.
So, 3. New order name, Order of the Falcon's Claw.
Nobody found any conflicts. It seems perfectly straightforward as far as the design. I think there are better depictions of birds' claws, or excuse me, birds' feet, but recognizable.
Well, looking at the name, do we know they use, as Condor was saying... Okay, nope, she did find it in the OED. Never mind. I will add odds commentary about the OED entries, I think.
Yeah, that would be very helpful, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then the badge.
Okay, it looks like according to Gawain's comment, we could remove inverted. The posture of a bird's leg is pale-wise, claws to base.
Well, let me pull up Miss
But
Tolm.
these are not legs.
That's true.
These
These are
just
claws.
the feet.
Mm-hmm.
And the feet are, this depiction is upside down feet. It's right side up if there was more to it and it was legs.
Mm-hmm.
But these feet are inverted.
Yep, based on how he describes a bird's foot bendwise erased with the claw up in the canton corner. Yeah, these are inverted.
Okay.
And again, I would say
Business end up.
Yeah.
And if Reef can always change the blazon too.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I had looked this up previously.
Mm-hmm. So any other commentary? Then good?
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Okay, 4. Badge name, Order of the Purple Feather of Callantir. I think add Condor's documentation again.
Yeah.
And it is very distinctly a feather as opposed to that in-betweeny thing that people sometimes use.
Yes.
Looking at the badge now.
Yes. This feather is straight from the picnic.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I'd say it's good.
I think it's good. All right, 5 name. Order of the Purple Jess.
Construction seems perfectly
Do we
reasonable.
have documentation of a Jess being a period? I think so. Let me.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes. My internet looks like it's crapping out, but we've registered. I mean, that's a hawk hooded in jest or
Mhm.
something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Falcons are often depicted as belled and jest, with thongs and bells.
Mhm.
So this is not technically a jest; it's a bell.
Well,
but it gets the point across.
mhm. Do we need to add any documentation to that for the name of what heraldically a Jess is?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so, but I could probably
Okay.
dig through the OED online
Okay.
and find it if you want it.
It wouldn't
Well,
hurt.
we can always send it up now, and if they ask for more information, keep
True.
an eye on it.
Mhm.
Okay, the badge. Pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
No conflicts. That's identifiable.
Mhm.
Even that stupid, stinky little Calatrava.
Yeah, that's very
I
small.
love the Calatrava, but it's so hard when it's so small.
I know that was but their majesties were asked if they wanted it on or off, and they said they wanted it on because we told them it was clear both ways.
Okay.
Okay, 6. The name.
I think your summarization, the word for metal plus feared.
I think that should go in the documentation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And truthfully, that could, yeah, I think you said that already. That could be the documentation for EU.
But basing it off of implement of war as opposed to Anglo-Saxon
Yes.
word for a metal.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So for the badge, do we need to, since there was some discussion of stretching the in pile, do we need to indicate that this is in conjunction with all of our other badges of the same equivalency? So that this particular design is grandfathered to us?
Is the only thing changed the weapons?
Yes, literally.
And the other ones have been registered?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's
Yes.
grandfathered to us.
Yes. Yes, it is.
It can't hurt to just put that in there,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that we're using the same layout and just changing the weapons
Mm-hmm.
for the badge.
Although I will remember when we registered the AO badges, they had issues with the Cross of Calatrava we used at the time. I don't remember. We had to send it up and change that, and I don't remember why.
It was a weird, yeah, Calatrava. But since we're going for the pile,
Mhm.
that's the thing, is the pile. It
Yeah.
should be fine. As long as it is identical
Mhm.
to the previous.
So I can keep an eye on it. If they want me to post the actual images for the rest of them, I can do that. Because I have the forms.
Because when we get down to the hearth, I think you're going to need to.
Plus, we may not even need to, really. The pile's almost at the end. It's just embattled, so it has to be weird.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the pile itself she's mentioning, or is it somehow the placement of the swords?
No, it's the pile.
Oh,
Wait,
no, she does say in pile, but what she's really talking about is the pile.
Yeah. And Gwen also comments on it the same, too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, Gawain is talking about the pile, and Solvig is talking about the swords which are in pile.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Gawain is saying that the pile is, I think, too wide at the top.
Yes.
Let me look at the...
I think that's an artifact of the embattling.
That you can't get them any closer together.
Because I bet that if you took the top of the black and made that line, I bet that would...
So we set the embattling on the outside of the pile as opposed to the inside of the pile.
Yeah, I think so.
I still think that if this particular pile embattled is exactly the same as what we have on forms that were previously registered,
let me pull it.
Then we're golden there.
Well, and it was also round forms too.
Ha!
Right, which if you look to the chat in here,
that doesn't matter. What matters is what was actually on the original forms. What we create afterwards.
I understand. I'm just showing another example of Wally. And mine uses slightly different swords.
No, I have... Because I thought of doing this, I can pull... Okay, I am throwing in chat a link to a copy of the actual form that was registered. Ignore... There is some... But this is a closed group. That's why I'm not posting it visually for everybody.
I would say that this pile is a little narrower, but it's not. There's not a huge difference.
If you squared it out, it would be about equal. As you'd have to add that one more top embattlement.
Sure, okay. And as for the placement of the spears, they are arranged to plausibly fill the space.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to call it good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solvig seems to want the bottoms of the bottom piece of the sword, the hilt, to
touch nearly.
Oh, that's what she meant by the root ends.
Mm-hmm.
If that was going to happen, we'd have to have a much shorter pile embattled, and I think it plausibly fills the space.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm. And just because we're going to talk about it next, I'm throwing up the Huskarl one. So yeah, I'm going to call that good and send it up as is. Then for in the Stila Hearth, we're going to have to do some interesting. Well, as you can see, what's registered is actually Hird, Hird, not a thorn. Or an F, not an F. All the rest of the Callantyr awards are HIRTH. Or yeah.
I like your comment that Hird is most likely a previously uncorrected version of Hird. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a great way of putting it in there.
Because old databases didn't, you couldn't.
Nope.
And as old as O&A has been transferred over and over and over, and this was from 1980. I was a baby. Not baby, but preschooler.
So it's really not a question of spelling as it is as much transliteration.
And just making everything the same.
Right.
So your question of what would be the best way to get this corrected, that is a separate question that you probably want to talk to Reith about. Well, or Pelican.
No, Pelican.
Yeah, the name.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of also a since it kind of needs to be mentioned because it's part of the, well, you're not using the grandfather clause correctly. Well, that's because what we're using it for is incorrect. That was my reason of putting that in there. Mm. Or maybe just start the sentence with "the kingdom uses" and delete everything prior to that. Is that what you're thinking? So I will make a note that Hird is most likely a previous uncorrected version of Hirth, as Eth was an unusable character in old databases. The kingdom uses the alternate spelling of Hirth, Hirth, in all other registrations. Link.
Perfect.
Okay. What do we think about Solveig's comment? It's the best use of the space.
Oh, now the badge itself?
Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry. Moving to the badge.
Actually, I was going to ignore Solveig and look at Golden Dolphin because she has a point, and we need to be sure and point out that the per chevron embattled that is registered to the kingdom is low and wide like this one. And grandfather is, I think, the only way we're going to get. Because, yes, this is a badly drawn per chevron field division. I was looking to see if...
But if you look at the one I posted, it pretty much matches.
Exactly. I was looking to see if there's something like, well, if you put something like this up in the upper portion, things naturally get scooched down. But that's not...
I've seen it.
Not true.
I think I've seen that, though.
If
That
you
happens
have,
with-
for example, a per chevron and then you've got a chief across the top, then everything gets scooched down.
If you have chevronels braced, they move to fit the space.
Yeah.
Or move to
So
fit whatever's on top of it.
So I may just put a copy of the original Erin badges up with each of these.
Yes.
That would be, yeah. Good choice.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I do like about Solveig's is that the swords really aren't much in Saltier.
Mm-hmm.
We're just kind of crossing at the tips.
Yeah, let me pull up the...
Yeah, the Huskarl badge, those axes are definitely in Saltier.
Yeah. It looks almost like flipping back and forth between the two, that the per chevron on the registered Ehrenhirth is a lot more wide, and the one here for the Stielerhirth is a little more pointy and upright. So granted that the swords are filling the space better, but there's not the space for them to fill otherwise.
I also shared the Bogahirth.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
And that's even a wider per chevron
Mm-hmm.
than is the Ehrenhirth.
That looks like crayon.
Shh.
Okay, so there are two issues. There are two issues, and I want to be sure that we're not mixing them up. The one is this per chevron line is not really up to modern standards, but we've got grandfather to fall back on. The second question is, these swords are indeed, the tips are crossed in salt here, but that's a blazon issue, not a registerability. The emblazon, sure, you can have the tips crossed in salt here. The badge for the Order of Defense, those tips are in salt here rather than the whole dubis in salt here. So I don't think the fact that these are just tips in salt here is going to be a problem. If they want to blazon it as tips in salt here rather than rapiers in salt here,
Mm-hmm.
you know, rapiers in salt here versus rapiers tips in salt here. That's a blazon issue, not an emblazon. I think the emblazon is registerable.
Also, I put the decision for Bogahirth on. This is a little interesting.
You know, I would almost copy and paste that into each one of these.
It's better have a lot of stuff at the beginning to preclude any arguments as to what we could or could not do based on previous registrations for to have our awards be consistent.
So should I literally throw up all the decisions for under the AO awards, throw the Boga decisions, for the Steel awards, throw the Erin decisions?
Yeah.
Probably the best way to do it.
Good thing I threw these all on my Google Drive.
Yeah.
It's like,
Make sure you edit it so you can't have the personal information on the.
oh yeah, even though they've probably moved 17 times in the last 30 years.
Just a CYA kind of thing.
Oh yeah. I'll block it out or do a cropped version or something.
Okay.
Yeah, if anybody's interested, the files for Feared of Callantir and Hearth of Callantir are fascinatingly horrific.
Yeah, they just. Oh, that's not the only ones that have been really entertaining to read as I scan through everything, but yeah.
The award for the Bretwalda, that was almost an award.
Mm-hmm.
The what?
Actually, we're live and
Yes. Anyways, things were interesting back in the ancient history of the SCA. We'll leave it at that.
Yes.
Okay, so badge, good, and just document.
Yep.
Send up all of our old paperwork. 8. Name.
I like the stuff that Dorcas came up with
Yep.
as a way for the hyphenated version.
Yep.
I'm sorry that I could only find one item that was an old dash animal.
Minor quibble, I would say if you're going to copy Dorcas's documentation, make sure you put the U in country. Last full sentence.
Country, the old country.
She wanted to type with an accent.
It was the U that I left out and not the O that I left out. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so I will add Dorcas's commentary. 9, Merlin Herald. It's been registered before. We're just taking it now. I don't think we have any issues with that.
And it's directly on that that
Oh,
page
yep.
thingy. It's right there. It's not like we're making it up.
and released in November of 06.
Yep.
Actually,
All
wonder
right.
who registered.
Have we decided what we're going to use the Merlin for, or are we just grabbing it because it's a bird of prey?
That's I'm sure all of these have uses that Uji hasn't informed me or the rest of the college about yet.
Because I know what Old Havoc is. Old
Yeah.
Havoc.
Well, that's not a discussion for public
Oh, okay.
commentary either. So,
Since it
all you
hasn't been made
people
official
watching.
yet.
yep. So Sablehawk.
Unfortunately, we can't register Blackhawk. But
Did somebody already have Black Hawk?
there was some reason. I don't remember what it was now.
There was a while where they were only registering the French versions, not the English.
But if
There was
we
also
have-
an issue of modernity.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Maybe.
Oh, that's probably what it was. 'Cause
Mm.
we have
Black
White.
Hawk down.
We have White Hawk and Blue Hawk.
we do
Because
have
Blue
Dark
Hawk
Hawk
isn't Azure Hawk; it's Blue Hawk
Yeah.
and Red Hawk.
and Red Hawk. It's not Ghoul's Hawk.
Well, there was at one point because Ines could not register as her retirement title White Tiger. She had to do Blanche Tiger, and
Yeah.
then they reversed their decision, so she's White Tiger now.
Yeah.
Okay, 11.
I got distracted by going through the O&A.
I still think I like Dorcas's additional documentation for the dashed version, or at least two-part version.
Okay.
Wait, what? Because I took. Did I?
I think you're talking with the old.
Yeah.
I think is that what you were talking about, Giovanni?
Under Sheer Havoc, too. Aren't we on Sheer Havoc?
Right.
But she didn't copy all of her notes to that one.
Now I
Oh,
did
because it's a different issue.
I did put it in because I mistook where I was and I typed it in and I took it out and I put it up under El Havoc. But I do have the question about we do not register heraldic titles in languages from cultures that did not use heraldic titles. So I'm pretty sure the Saxons didn't, but as they are a subset of English who did, can we even register Sheer Havoc and Eld Havoc for that matter?
I would say that would be a Pelican decision.
I would hope so.
I think I might just not mention anything about her comment and just let it float
Yeah.
and
Yes.
see what happens.
Only bring it up if they bring it up.
Yep.
Now, what Golden Dolphin said, though, the grandfather clause only works for the one word Sheer Havoc, which we're okay with if that's what we have to have. But if we are okay with sheer space no hyphen havoc, that I suppose that comment you could maybe put that in. But yeah, my second comment about languages that didn't use heraldic titles, yeah, you can leave that out.
I personally prefer the 2-word title to the 1-word title if we can't have the hyphenated title.
I agree.
Yeah, my first choice is the hyphen. My second choice is the space.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which is exactly what the documentation says. So
Okay.
we would prefer a 2-word or hyphenated phrase, but would accept a single word.
Oh, I know why I didn't make the comment about hyphenating things, is that looking through Bosworth-Tuller, I didn't find sheer hyphen anything, SCIR.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I found SCIR was when it meant shire. So like the Shire Reeve, that was hyphenated, but we weren't going for shire, we were going for the meaning of right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I will put commentary that we found them in
Bosworth-Tuller.
yeah, just like we did. Does somebody have access to that?
It's online.
Okay.
Shall I?
To build something akin to what was up under Eldhavoc.
Build something akin to what was, what do you mean?
Documentation of the words.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure. I can document share and I can document havoc and send links for that. Somebody else better in the language can probably build a case for they hyphenated all sorts of stuff. But that's not me. The only I built a case, I hope, for eld hyphen havoc based on eld hyphen other things. But yeah, if we asked Rodri or Merwin or Erdstappa, they might be able to say, yeah, they hyphenated everything. Okay.
And I really can't. Looking in the all the things for. I can't find the name.
For sheer havoc.
Yeah.
It actually there was
it's under the service and it's listed as name 001. But there's no name for the order.
No, for the university, no.
Yeah.
The only thing there was in the badge registration. That's where the discussion was for the name of the university. That's it. That's the only thing I found with all the archiving.
Mm-hmm.
It was just mentioned in passing that the badge was being attached to the university, and that the comment of putting it as a hyphenated version would be the more correct way to do it. And that was the commentary back in the early 80s.
The ONA says the Royal University of Sheer Havoc was a household name registered in March 1985.
How's it spelled?
It's one word.
Okay.
And the only way I got it to come up was to search Callantyre and then click on the Royal University.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, early registrations are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, this is the last item So I'm going to go through the list. On the previous letter, the 228, number 1 was good with a request for help on the surname. Number 2 was good. 3, fix the typo in the header. 4 was good. 5, note the single step from period practice. 6 is good. 7, name and device are good. 8, the device is good. 9, name is good, fix the typo. 10, name and device are good. 11, device is good, use the registered name now that that's been registered. 12, name and device are good. 13, name, fix the typo. Because he is a minor, he is not in a minor. 13, good. Send it up with an artist note to beef up the bow. 14, the name is good. We are returning the device because it's color on color. 15, the name is good. 16, we're sending it up. It's good with a change to the surname of Milwaukee, and Dorcas is going to get in touch with Constantia to get in touch with the client.
Yep.
To just verify that that change was good, although she didn't mark the boxes of doom, so it's a change we can make anyways. And the device just as good with a bit of the blazing foo. All right, moving on to the 311 letter. Number 1, add a statement about using the grandfather clause with the pattern for implement of war plus feared, stealing the format used for the Stila Awards. Pardon me. Same for number 2 with the Eohirth. Number 3, the name and the name, we're going to add the documentation from Condor. The badge is good. 4, we're going to add the documentation from Condor. The badge is good. 5, the name is good. The badge is good. 6, I'm going to add the documentation that I proposed. For all of these badges that are based off our previous items, I'm just going to throw up all the badges paperwork, all the decision paperwork, redacted, of course. 7, same thing. As with the feared version. 8, add Dorcas's commentary. Fix the typo in country in that. 9, we're good. 10, we're good. We'll add Golden Dolphins commentary. And then 11, document actually shear and havoc as separate words, and see if we can get if we can't get it via the grandfather clause, get it via the 2 separate words.
I did find, and I just put up in the group chat, the commentary from when Sheer Havoc was registered.
You literally just put the words comment 001 JPEG.
Yeah. I was copying and pasting 2 documents, doggone it. I know I was. Yeah, it's not wanting to just let me move the file.
Okay. Well, at this point, this is more a discussion for us to have offline, I think. Anybody else have any commentary on these letters?
Everything sounds good to me.
Okay. Next meeting will be April 24th.
That's what it looks like.
Okay. that will be my last meeting as Saker. All right. In that,
I will mention that there is an April 1 letter that will be published on Saturday. I finished it. Those of you who have access to go look at letters do, and those of you who don't, you just have to wait till Saturday.
I was glad I got in a few of those for you.
Yes, I like
Such
them.
a tease. Such a tease.
it's only Saturday. Okay, so at this point, thank you everybody who was watching us, and thank you for all of our commenters. We had a lot to go through tonight because, well, when their majesties want things registered, you register them. And it was good to get a bit of the backlog out too. As we commented and decided, the April 24th will be the next meeting, and that will be my last meeting as Saker. And after that, Gottfried and Dorcas will be taking over. Once again, thank you to them for being willing to take on the responsibility. And at that point, thank you everybody again, and we're out.